Alright, we're starting this off. I did get some DLC between, and I got, because they were on sale, so why not? And I want to support the game. I'm having fun with it.
Is here to save the day.
Okay. Welcome to the crew. Unlock a new character. Sure.
Hope they make this interesting.
Get some practice with Sir Bernard. Okay. Feel his avatar gauge. Avatar. Okay.
Hunger! What's the matter? That all you got? Hunger! Cat and mouse. Surprise! Have some death! Hunger!
Okay. He wields two swords.
Over here! Hunger! Cat and mouse. Sorry! Follow through! Hunger! Oh yeah! Taste the blade! Cat and mouse.
Let's see how powerful that is. His avatar. Ooh.
Cat and mouse. What's the matter? Hunger! Time to get serious. Bring it!
Oh. Okay.
Bye-bye! Explore where this came from.
Oh, so it's like a secondary attacker.
No!
Damn.
Enough!
Okay, the longer it goes on, the more... Nope, do not dismiss just yet.
Tasty! Sorry! You're mine! The heavens tremble.
To a finisher.
The sword sovereign rising!
Oh, damn! Okay. Then we got this one.
Make way for Twayen. The Eternal Archer offers her aid.
Yes.
No prey can run from this huntress.
Master Bow.
I see everything you do. Ready. Let's go. Picture the arrow. Focus. Like true.
Okay, that's pretty correct. Okay. She's more straight to it. Cause you got built to her to this one for the avatar. And this one is supposedly is the most difficult, apparently.
It's been a while, but I'm here to fulfill my promise.
Archangel.
Time is of the essence.
Okay. I knew he would be an archangel with those wings. Oh, okay.
You're through! Be gone! Light take you! Enough! Press on! You're through! Light take you! It's over! Ecliptica! You wretch! Fall! Press on! Fall! Light take you! Wait! Enough! Weak! How dare you!
Charging.
No escape! Weak! You're through! I have you! Fall! By these chromatic wings.
Let's see what Y does when we charge it up. All the way.
A new dawn rises. Behold these 6 wings! You've met your match! Take this! You are wanting. You're mine. Blessings upon you!
Okay.
Gone.
Now I understand what you were building to.
Light take you!
Damn, so you want to build up to
I have
this.
you! Fall! It's over! I have you! Light take you! Fall! Dust to dust.
Okay. I can see why people definitely like all 3 of them. Because you build crazy into. She's super skillful, and the fact that she's so freeing because she moves around with those gravities, and she has a wide range of AoE attacks. Okay. I can't say you can equip it. Okay, she's a sigil. I don't think it's for us. Okay. Are they coming at level 10? Okay. Then if I go to the journal. Making bad puns. I like how it says all things coffee. So he just loves coffee. The man couldn't get a good, decent coffee up and above, I guess. Okay. Whole swarm?
Oh dear.
You'll love what you see.
Look at look! I just got some rare stuff.
Oh.
Appreciate the support.
Wait. Okay. Alright. Level the characters up. Move people around. Let's go to church.
The meetup spot was somewhere around here, right? Are you done looking around?
Yeah, I think I've seen everything.
Same. Let's take a quick break while we wait for the others.
Yeah.
Look, it's the Grand Cipher. Oh yeah, Rackham did say he'd bring her in for repairs. Can I tell you something? I heard what you did when I was falling off the ship. I felt so happy knowing you sprang to my rescue. We've been through a lot together. Visited new islands, met new people. It hasn't always been the safest trip, but you've always been there to protect me. I just wanted to say thank you.
You're welcome.
And since our lives are intertwined,
I keep thinking every time it's pausing, like,
let's make
it
the
has to be a
most of our
choice. I'm
journey
looking for a
together.
choice, and there's like no button to press.
Yeah. Now my face feels a little hot.
I wonder why my mouse was up there.
That's so
Okay, so the outfit only works
Doesn't it smell nice?
in non-cutscenes. Cutscenes that go back with the original look, which makes sense.
Sorry, kept y'all waiting. Cypher's officially in the shop.
Nice work.
Hey,
Thanks, Rackham. So, we've got time to burn, it seems. Anyone want?
Almost forgot this.
you guys hear that?
All right, I'm off.
Hi. He looks like a scholar warrior.
Pardon my rudeness. I don't do well with lizards.
Hey, I ain't no lizard.
It can talk?
I do beg your pardon. We didn't mean to startle you. And we certainly don't intend on starting any trouble. Actually, we're a crew of humble skyfarers. This is Vern. I assure you he means no harm. If anything, he's quite the
Or
lovable
he's
dragon
more
once
harmful.
you get to know him.
I like, okay, that
I'm a cool dragon.
I like that expression in the background. His eyes open wide. He was like, "You lie, woman." That was
Allow me
good.
to
That was
introduce
good.
myself.
Notice
My
if
name
you pay
is-
attention. I like that one.
Roland, you've got
Well-
to help us. A tornado suddenly hit our village out of nowhere.
A tornado?
A
Second of anger, Tempeo's
tornado.
primal beast? Remain here in Folka. I'll handle the rest. My apologies. It seems I'm needed elsewhere, so I'm afraid this is farewell for now.
Hey, wait! He sure ran off in a hurry.
And I heard him say primal beast. We should follow him.
We.
There are still people stuck in Tempeo. Oh, what do we do? What do we do?
We panic.
the altar suddenly lit up, you know? And the wind was like a whoosh! And that primeval god is not happy.
Slow down, take a few deep breaths, and tell me exactly what happened.
Okay, I'm calm.
An altar, fierce winds, and what they call a primeval god. Sound familiar?
Yeah, it does.
Smells fishy. It's gotta be connected to Bahamut going ballistic on us.
That guy with glasses knows something we don't. Want to see if we can tag along?
He could lead us to a clue.
A
What do you think,
clue, a
Captain?
clue.
Well, we can't ignore people in trouble.
Exactamundo.
Right then. I know what I have to do. Time to get moving.
Excuse me.
Ah, hello again. The situation is a bit out of hand, as you can see. If you
Or
need
we could
something
put it
from
back
me,
in.
Can it wait? I must leave town for a spell.
No.
Then I'll cut to the chase. Allow us to join you.
Say that again?
Oh, shit.
It seems you're in a predicament. Depending on the situation, we could be of help.
I appreciate the offer, I really do, but
You mentioned a primal beast, right? If that's the problem, we want to lend a hand.
We hit our own snag as soon as we arrived in this skydom. Bet your round of drinks whatever you're facing has to do with us, too.
Simply put, our goals are aligned. It takes two to tango, wouldn't you say?
I don't know. Though, more hands would certainly be welcome. Very well. I won't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yay!
Anything can happen out there. You should get organized before we head out. Yeah.
All right. So who are we calling to the front line?
Okay, party.
Ready.
Damn.
Just point me to my target.
You can depend on me. See that counter? That's where we can pick up new quests. Let's check back often, okay?
Fresh sandwiches. Come to the soup and the side.
You set. That dude's gonna need serious help fixing the tornado problem.
Oh, are you a Skyfarer, perchance? If you're looking for coin, I can help you find jobs from all over the Skydom. So, would you be interested in taking a quest or two? Or, maybe more?
Oh, so that's where the online component comes down. They ain't done this.
Here it is. This one, yes?
Wait, I have a
Would
question.
you take this one?
Sure.
It's in your hands now. Have a nice day.
Okay, okay.
Prep and ready.
Stabby alert! It's go time!
picture the
Get behind my shield!
Hit them
down.
Follow me!
On it!
It's working! Fine, Pete. You got
I
me.
won't
Take
fail you.
5. Behind you.
Why somebody already beat?
They just keep coming, or we'll show them who's boss.
Ready yourself. I see everything
Thrown
you did.
up there.
Heads up! Winter's Day! Feel the fight!
Looks like we got a second to catch our breath before things heat up again. I'm not liking the look of this, but don't let it intimidate ya.
Center your breathing.
Wait,
Direct hit!
wait, let me grab this quick.
Frozen enchanted land! Fire blow!
No, wait, wait.
Got its shield.
Well done.
Hit them down!
Take that.
Okay, now I gotta wait.
I'm not liking the look of this, but don't let it intimidate ya.
Okay, there we go.
Feel the fight! I'll finish this! Rain from above! Do it!
Good work. Keep it up, and we'll finish the next wave in no time. I'm not liking the look of this, but don't let it intimidate ya.
Pin them down!
Winter's rain!
Wow.
It's working! These guys have...
And I think that's everything.
Here
We're
comes
awesome
healing!
out
Right
there.
on time!
Okay. Damn, we've overkilled that.
We kick butt!
How do you get an S plus? Oh, that's how. I was so confused. I was like, oh wait a minute. Achieve an S plus plus for a first time. Okay.
Yeah? Alright!
Toy.
Excuse me.
There you go. Completed a side quest for the first time.
Mission complete.
Okay. I feel like I've seen some of these. I just don't know where. Okay, that's well, we did learn he didn't like Blizzard. Okay.
Skyfarer, want your weapons tempered?
I didn't think you can level that up any higher.
I'll handle it. How about that? I'll handle it. Success.
Guess I could do those other quests too, which are right over here.
Here it
I'm
is.
gonna take. Oh.
Would you take this one? Please be careful.
Rush sandwiches. Come to the soup and the side.
Oof.
You're a great help, Captain. I could say the same to you.
I think we made them angry. Right. Look out for any large attacks.
Oh.
Income.
Here's the gravity well.
Miss me. Can't be
Oh.
Too hot to handle.
Close one.
Ready yourself.
Miss me.
Wipe the winter flame.
Panacea. Let its armor break.
It's over.
It's working. Let's end this.
Nice. I think I was just over a minute.
Oh, that should be the last of them.
Oh no!
Which means
Wow.
complete. What you hiding?
I just squeaked out.
Ooh.
Wait. I was trying to see how do I do some of the stickers.
Just like always.
All right.
Okay.
Is your stomach growling?
Hello there. What do you think?
And then the last one is this one.
This one, yes? It's in your hands now.
Yeah. Let's do it to it. You're bringing the whole circus, huh? Keep on your toes. Upsy daisy. You like that? It's alive.
Okay.
It's working. Enough of you. Not a single batting left. Let's go check out the next place. They just keep coming! Or we'll show... It's an air raid! Picture the arrow.
Light shadows for you. Ready yourself. Straight from above.
It's working! Daddy left. Let's go check out the next place.
All right, keep running, guys. We got less than a minute. Come on.
They just keep coming! Or we'll show them who's boss! Gotta keep it up! Bring the damage!
Hit them down.
Picture the arrow. Gotta keep it up! You... Follow my lead! Ugh, more monsters! You ready?
Yeah.
Make it rain! It's working! Enough!
Oh, I don't know if I will.
Picture the arrow.
Get behind my shield. Ready yourself.
Close one! I'm beat.
Oh my god, by a minute. It's not even because it was hard.
Make sure you get them all!
Watch my back. On it.
Follow my lead!
We are forced.
Let's keep it up, guys! Even bigger spell!
You're not wrong.
Bring you up!
There we go.
And I think that's everything. You were awesome out there!
Thank you.
This crew never fails.
So in order to get like, I feel like the S++, you would have to be super low, over leveled. Like, even with that, because I did run a, I was over leveled, but wasn't exactly perfect.
All right.
Yeah, side quest. Nope, that was the wrong one. There you go.
I knew we could do it!
Got an order? Want your weapons tempered? I'll handle it. I'll handle it. How about that?
Okay.
Come back sometime.
We've got lunch specials. Good food, good.
Hello there.
Oh, they all have one. And some of these do have fights, And some of them don't. Like this one does. That one does. Okay. We'll be watching some of this. So this will probably be the part. I guess this is the way they teach you the
Our
characters.
adventure began with a strange light falling over my home island of Zinkenstill. I chased it to the impact site, where I found a blue-haired
And
girl
then-
named Lyria and a knight, Catalina.
So I'm not in the
girl
way.
was shaken, and pretty soon I learned the reason why. She was on the run from Erste Empire soldiers. I knew an unfair fight when I saw one, so I stepped up to protect Lyria from those overbearing jerks. Catalina and I fended them off well enough, but when their backs were in the corner, they released a fire-breathing Hydra. It charged me, sending me flying into the tree line. Moments away from death, all I could think about was Dad. He'd been the one who trained me, and he'd done a great job, but, well, who expects their daughter to get attacked by a five-headed horror? He was going to be devastated. So, it's all over. Just
Or
as I
was
began to
it?
sink into darkness, a gentle light enveloped my body. Lyria, wreathed by a mystical halo, was floating above me with her hand outstretched. She explained that she was going to merge our life forces. Fortunately, it worked. From that moment forward, Lyria and I would be inextricably linked. Looking into her blue eyes, I knew I had nothing to fear. Not even death itself. Two people, one life. A greater whole. Lyria had taken a huge risk to save me. Now, if one of us got hit with a fatal blow, it was curtains for both. And that thought awakened in me a desperate hunger for survival. For life. The next moment, Lyria and I felt this reverberation of power. The torrent of emotion rushing from me had awakened something.
Okay.
Darkness and flames swirled around us, coalescing into a massive dragon, Bahamut. With him on our side, we made short work of the Imperial Hydra. Now that their trump card had been blasted into oblivion, the Imperial army had no choice but to run. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't chased that light. No Lyria, no lifelink, no adventure. Yeesh, I probably wouldn't even have set foot off of Zinkenstill.
That's probably true.
Fate's a funny thing, isn't it? Since meeting Lyria, we've seen our fair share of joy and happiness, and pain and suffering.
Oh, I guess they have.
Crew doesn't buckle under pressure. We'll take on anything the journey throws at us. No regrets.
Achievement. Completed first episode prologue for the first time. Okay. So it boosts my stats up by 10. So then we could do another one. Yes. Why not?
Now, where was I? Oh, right. We just humiliated the Empire, who probably had reserves waiting somewhere close by. We realized we needed to get off Zinkenstill. Fast. The Empire was not going to rest while Lyria was on the loose, and I figured that since we shared a life force now and all, it was in everyone's best interest if we stayed together. Plus, I'd always wanted to explore the far reaches of the skies, though doing it on the run, not what I had in mind. Oh, there was so much to think about, so much to decide. But all those plans could come after we had escaped Zinkenstill. I didn't want a whole army, this time with, I don't know, 30 Hydras marching on my home island. And, well, I had another, more personal reason for wanting to leave. Before I knew it, our journey was at an end. The end. As in, we'd reached the end of the skies. My daughter, I'm waiting for you on Estalucia. I thought about Dad's letter. I missed him. When I was young, he would take me to the edge of the island, and we'd sit there, admiring the clouds.
So this is a mission to
badly
go
to
find our
explore
father.
those skies. Just
God
like
damn
Dad.
it. Our father always went out for milk and coffee.
And
and cigarettes
I
and
wouldn't
never
have to
came
make
back.
That journey alone, with Vern, Lyria, and Catalina at my side, we commandeered a small Imperial craft and set out for the greatest of destinations, Esta Lucia.
Okay, the dream come true.
From the moment we left Zinkenstill, our adventures were hectic to say the least. Catalina, who claimed to be an experienced pilot, crashed our small vessel into the gusty fields of Port Breeze. But we quickly pulled ourselves together and found a new ally, and helpsman, in the form of Rackham. Since then, we gained more and more
So we
allies,
learned that
and no
Catalina
matter
cannot
what obstacle we faced,
fly.
the crew always worked in tandem to find a solution. It's all thanks to their support that I've made it this far. And what a wild ride it's been! I had never set foot off of Zinkenstill, but now I can't even count the number of islands we've saved, let alone visited. Sure, being a roving band of heroes is difficult, but it's got its perks. New faces, new places, and a whole airship's worth of fun. Who could pass this life up? Anyhoodle, we've just begun the next chapter of our adventure. We discovered another piece of the sky map, which led us to Zega Grande. Yeah, a whole new skydom. Just imagine the danger, the promise. But I knew it was going to be fine. Just another set of memories to add to our ever-growing collection. I hope you're ready, Zega Grande, 'cause here we come!
Oh, we gotta progress through the main story. Okay. This episode is probably going to be just going through the fates.
You think you know the sky and wind, but then you come to a foreign land where unfamiliar songs on the air beckon you toward the unknown.
Catalina, where do you think this breeze is coming from?
The wind rustled Lyria's hair affectionately as she spoke. From somewhere far, far away. Much time has passed since Lyria and I escaped from the Erste Empire and met the captain in the woods of Zinkenstill. I found myself thankful that the sky has no limit, because no matter how many journeys I've made at her side, there will always be more to look forward to.
Okay, let's see what she says here.
Lyria and I first crossed paths when I was still a knight of Erste, and she a tool in the Empire's mad experiments on dark essence. So you're Lyria. I was appointed to stay by her side as both captor and guardian. She reminded me of a beautifully crafted puppet, never moving or speaking unless commanded. Her expression was fixed, and her eyes were bright, but cold, as if made of glass. Moved to pity, I wanted at the very least to light a smile on her face. But I may as well have been talking to a doll. I couldn't find the part of her that was alive. It wasn't until many days had escaped us that I realized Lyria was a real girl with a feeling soul. She simply didn't know how to act like one.
No.
So, I taught her to laugh when she felt joy and cry when she felt sadness. Through books and reverie, I taught her to long for the outside world. And when colors on a page were no longer enough, I took her hand and led her to the roof of the military base. The illustrations Lyria had seen were lovely, but the sky now stretching above her was boundless and so luminous that it drew forth tears. And finally, Finally, her blue eyes shone, as if they were two patches of sky lit by a sun from within her. That sun melted my heart. There, with the open air as our witness, I made her a promise. Someday, we'll sail this endless world together. I swear it.
Okay, she cared deeply for her. I could see that.
As the bond between us grew, so did the cruelty of the experiments they performed on Lyria. Lyria doesn't belong here. No living creature does. The shining empire I served now became to me a place clouded by doubt. Day after day, a battle raged within me, between the knight loyal to her flag and the guardian who wanted to set a sad girl free. Then, one day, a memory of Lyria's response on the roof broke through like a clear ray of light.
Really? You'll show me this endless world?
I had made a vow. There was no more question where my allegiance lay. I took her hand once again. This time, not to simply gaze at the sky, but to leap into it. And I did it for myself as much as I did it for her.
Okay, as far as we can go there. Let's check him out in the blue sky agony.
Piloting an airship ain't easy work, but whether it's plotting a windward course or conducting some routine maintenance, you can always count on experience and intuition. Ha! Just a little further! Finally, the Grand Cipher broke through the nebulous shadows and turbulent winds of the Grim Basin, and to greet us on the other end was our reward, the brilliant clear blue. It was a panoramic azure, dappled by silver-white clouds and gleaming from the light of a new day. Always an exhilarating sight to behold. Judging by the cries of celebration starting to spread across the deck, I took it my crewmates would agree. Damn. Who'd have ever thought a young dreamer from Port Breeze would make it all the way out to these skies? The Grand Cipher and I, we'd gone through thick and thin together. It's a long story, but it all started on that fateful day I met the captain. I haven't looked back since. Right then, landing maintenance. Fuel stores, full. Engine, all clear. We were ready to disembark into the unknown.
Why that
What awaited us in the Zega Grande Skydom? As uneasy as I was, I couldn't help but feel a teensy bit giddy with excitement.
Well, at least he was excited.
Ah, the Grand Cipher. Ever since I found her abandoned behind a cliff, it was love at first sight. I was just a kid, but I had lofty dreams of repairing that ramshackle airship and taking her to the skies. Back then, I didn't know the difference between a porthole and port side, but I was determined. I dove into books bigger than my head, and I learned basic airship repair, helmsmanship, the whole kit and caboodle. After a ton of elbow grease, the day had come. The Grand Cipher was finally ready for a test flight. I still remember how my hands trembled as I grabbed the rudder. And wouldn't you know it, she actually lifted off the ground for me. Nothing quite like watching your first love take to the skies, is there? But before I could take it all in, my dreams came crashing down. I mean, literally, the Grand Cipher sunk like a damn meteor. 100 different things could have caused it, but that didn't matter. Years of work went kaput in the blink of an eye. betrayed by the very skies I longed for. I was crushed. Looking back now, it sounds stupid, I know, but it really felt like I had nothing to live for. I put all my hopes into that hunk of scrap. Laugh if you want, but some pits are too deep to crawl out of, especially when you look up for freedom and all you see is the expansive crystal blue of your tormentor. Don't worry, my pity party wouldn't last for too much longer. You see, my dreams had crashed like a meteor. But ironically enough, it was the meteoric rise of the Erste Empire that would bring the captain into my life. Salvation was on the horizon.
Back at the wheel, boys. It's no longer a fantasy.
Just as I'd given up on flying, the Erste Empire had arrived in Port Breeze, and they were hell-bent on exploiting our local protector, the primal beast of wind, Tiamat. Their twisted machinations caused her to go on a rampage. Port Breeze was in peril. Fortunately, we had an ace up our sleeve, Lyria. Thing is, Lyria needed to get close to Tiamat, which meant we had to go up, and to go up, we needed to fly. Thought I'd already closed that chapter of my life when the skies betrayed me, but lives were on the line. Quick, get on the Grand Cipher! I don't know what got into me. She fell once before. Hell, I knew she might fall again. Nothing like a healthy fear of death to keep you grounded, eh? But the people of Port Breeze and my new crewmates had entrusted their fates to my piloting skills. My own fear was insignificant. All I needed to do was trust myself too. It's a damn shame it took me this long. But I'm back now, and ready to face the skies if you'll have me. As the Grand Cipher's engine purred to life, I knew I would no longer be encumbered by fear. I gripped the mast with pride as I set our course directly above, to the rampaging Tiamat. Lyria quelled the primal beast, and catastrophe had been averted. Not to mention, I could finally dream again. Ever since that day, I've been the helmsman for the Grand Cipher and its crew. It's been one hell of a ride. I've since formed a pact with good old Tiamat and made amends with the shipwright Primal who built the Grand Cipher.
Oh, okay.
So, Zega Grande Skydom might be uncharted territory, but my role remains the same. To see our crew arrive safely, no matter the destination. And that includes Estalucia. Some folks might call reaching the end of the skies an impossible dream, but I ain't too worried. With the Grand Cipher as our wings, anything's possible.
I think this will be it for him. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Got a bit to go, but we'll do it. Okay, because she comes in later.
Met Master Zaka on that fateful day? If he hadn't saved me, there's no way I'd be where I am now. I'm from the Vaults Duchy, where the weather's sweltering all year long, thanks to a river of lava that flows through the island. My hometown might not have been the most scenic place, but as long as I had Master Zaka with me, I was happy. After traveling for so long, I can finally say that with pride. Before I left on my journey, I was completely clueless. When my master went missing, I just ran around like a chicken with its head cut off. I was looking for something, anything that would help me find him, and that's when I met the crew. The reason behind his disappearance turned out to be even worse than I could have imagined. The Erste Empire had driven him out of his mind. They had manipulated him into awakening the primal beast that had lain dormant beneath the ground, Colossus. Fortunately, I was able to break through to him, thwarting the Empire's attempt to exploit Colossus's powers for conquest. I learned that they were doing all sorts of horrible things, even to their own people, in
No,
order to
of course.
achieve their goals.
The Empire always evil.
My master was a kind person who never hesitated to help those in need. I resented the Empire for making him suffer. And I couldn't just sit around when there was work to be done. That's why I decided to join the crew. To stick it to those Empire jerks and give their victims something to smile about.
Oh, the favorite teacher.
A few years before I met the crew, I lost my parents to an epidemic.
Oh, my bad.
And their deaths for who knows how long. I could barely even bring myself to face reality each morning.
That's not good.
With no living relatives in vaults, I was like a ship adrift at sea. I had nowhere to go and nowhere to belong. Until one day, my master reached out his hand to me. I was so depressed I just kept staring at the ground. But that gentle smile never left his face as he asked me, "Why do you look so sad?" There was something in his voice that made me look up. When I did, a beautiful bouquet of flowers appeared in his hand, seemingly out of thin air. I had no idea how he'd done it, but I knew it must have been some kind of parlor trick. But he insisted it was magic. What a goofball, right? Saying that when he can use real magic. But it was just the magic I needed at that moment. Beautiful and kind. He went on to show me all kinds of incredible spells, the likes of which I'd never seen before. Watching him made me smile at a time when I thought I'd forgotten how. My master would always say that magic exists to make people happy. Something about that spoke to me. It made me want to become a mage just like him. So I signed myself up as his disciple, begging him to teach me magic. I'll never forget how happy I was when he told me I had talent. After all, if he was right, that meant I had the potential to make people smile too.
No, at least someone was smiling. And then she was able to go overcome that. That's sad to lose your parents.
One day, shortly after I joined the crew, I suddenly lost the ability to use magic.
Oh.
No matter how many times I tried casting a spell, nothing happened. I had no clue what to do. The rest of the crew thought Master Zaka might have the answers I needed, so we set sail for vaults. It'd been forever since I'd been back home. My master was thrilled to see how much I'd grown. I opened my mouth to ask him about my problem, but when I saw how happy he looked, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I'd promised him that I'd come back as a great mage, but there I was, unable to cast even a single spell. The last thing I wanted was for him to be disappointed in me. Around that time, an epidemic returned to vaults, the same disease that had claimed the lives of my parents. Wanting to keep it from spreading any further, my master headed to the clinic to speak with the people who'd been infected. But he ended up getting sick too. The source of the epidemic turned out to be an evil spirit that revealed itself to us right there in the clinic. I immediately confronted it. That rotten creature had already taken my parents from me. I wasn't gonna let it take anyone
Okay, so
else.
we're letting her
Determined
how
to
she
make it
okay.
pay, I raised
That's
my
good.
staff, but nothing happened.
Oh, that's not good.
I'll never forget how it felt to watch, helplessly, as my parents' killer got away. The crew gave chase, but I continued to stand where I was. Without my magic, I didn't see the point. I'd just end up getting in the way. All I could do was watch as my master suffered, withering away. Nothing had changed since the last time. But you know, it wasn't all bad. In search of a solution to my magic loss at the local library, I happened to come across a beautiful golden staff, one left to me by my mother. That's when Master Zaka revealed that my mother had been a mage too. On the verge of tears, I clenched my staff tightly in frustration. My beloved home and master were being threatened by a disease-spreading spirit, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Just as I began feeling completely hopeless, the staff began to glow. Somehow I could feel it encouraging me, empowering me. So what if I couldn't use magic? Surely there were other ways to help everyone. Unable to stand around doing nothing any longer, I ran off to find the crew. When I finally tracked them down, they'd already been rendered powerless by the disease. That left me as the only person who could fight. There wasn't a second to lose. It was that moment when I decided I was done running away. I'd promised myself a long time ago that I was going to use my magic to make people happy.
Okay.
Filled with newfound resolve, I heard a voice coming from the staff.
Your magic will return.
Is that
oh,
you?
Never mind. It's her mom.
The voice told me to visualize the power flowing through me. As I did, I could feel magic welling up inside me, flooding out from deep within. With my mom's help, I was able to defeat the evil spirits. As soon as it was gone, light erupted from my staff. I turned to see the rest of the crew climbing to their feet, their symptoms gone. The power spread through the entire island of Waltz Duchy, eliminating the disease and bringing smiles back to the people.
That was convenient.
Things were a little touch and go there for a while, but in the end, everyone pulled through. And I've been able to use my magic without any issue ever since. I just know it's because my mom is watching over me through my staff. Thanks to her, I can keep traveling with the crew, using the staff she left me to bring out more smiles along the way.
We got a way to go. We gotta do this. If we don't do it now, we'll never do it later. Told you it's gonna take some time these days, cause they're setting you up for character developments with these characters that you may never play. So it's a good way for you to learn the characters because of their traits that they've already done, and it's another way for you to get some stats at the same time, which is nice.
And I'd be damned if I stood by as the Earthstay Empire sullied its waters with the byproducts of their weapons research. It goes without saying that I enlisted. Good thing, too, because it was in the midst of the ensuing war that I met the Grand Cipher crew. They helped us, the local mercenaries, I mean, take a stand against those Imperial punks. It wasn't a picnic, but we weren't gonna go down without a fight. In the end, the war wasn't decided by either side, but by the patron deity of the land, Leviathan, who damn near drowned Auguste in a fit of rage. Anybody's troubles would have seemed small compared to a battle like that, huh? Well, not long after, as if irony was waiting to bite me on the ass, my estranged daughter showed up out of the blue. I know what you're thinking. What kind of parent wouldn't rejoice at seeing their child again? But it's complicated. And it's all my fault. Man, the way Apollonia looked at me, like a wolf staring down her bunny-eared breakfast. I couldn't face her.
No.
But this crew, there was something about their vitality, you know? Here were these young'uns standing against impossible odds and coming out stronger for it. Maybe if this old man took good notes, he could eventually have an honest conversation with his own baby girl.
Oh,
so,
I hope he does.
I asked to join the crew and took up a life of skyfaring once again. The next time my daughter and I met, I wouldn't let fear and regret keep me from moving forward.
Let's see what he says here. Family matters.
My daughter end up estranged? Well, the first thing you need to know is that my wife was stricken by a terminal illness.
Of course, gotta take out the mother.
Terminal my foot. Even if there was no cure in Auguste, surely there ought to have been something in other lands. And so, I left my family at home, crisscrossing the skies looking for a cure. Got into a lot of adventures along the way, and somehow ended up making a name for myself. But no matter how far and wide I traveled, the cure eluded me. And while I was away, my wife, she breathed her last. I wasn't there for her when she needed me most. I never even got the chance to say goodbye. Regret and self-loathing crashed over me in never-ending waves, threatening to pull me under. You can't even begin to imagine the pain. And there was nothing I could do about it. It was all my fault. My daughter spent countless days looking after her sick mother, fighting off fear and dread. It's not hard to imagine why she hates me. She must have asked herself time and again, why was her father gallivanting across the skies while his family suffered? By the time I finally came home, she was long gone. There were no other relatives to turn to. The only family she'd known was no more. All I could do was stand dazed and helpless in the cold, empty shell of the home we'd made.
That's rough, man. That's rough. It's never easy being a single father. Let's see what happens here.
After that, 15 years passed. I met the captain, and through my travels with the crew, reunited with my daughter. This might surprise you, but we didn't have a tearful, touching father-daughter reunion the second time around either. I spent so long telling myself that the next time we met, I'd face up to my past. But when the moment came, I froze. What could I possibly say or do for her as a father, after all this time? Any courage I'd mustered withered in the face of her scorn, and I was left standing there, feeling like an old bastard. Sometime after this heartwarming reunion, I bonded with Leviathan, and through our link, saw glimpses of what lay in my daughter's heart. I thought I had escaped all those painful memories, but here they were. In that world created by the pact with Leviathan, my wife was still alive. I saw how things might have been if I had done things differently.
Oh, a world of what ifs.
Of course, I knew none of this was real.
But
I
still,
would rather stay in a world of memory than live in a cold, lonely reality with
reminds me of that movie with
She
Naruto
wasn't having any of that.
where he got to have
She
a
said I
family.
couldn't sacrifice my future to dwell in the past. She made me promise to fix things between myself and our daughter. Said she'd boot me out of the ocean if I came back without completing my task. Her words finally gave me the push I needed to face my past and start on the path to a brighter future. They gave me the strength to fight for my daughter in her hour of need. And I'd like to think that I finally did something fatherly, if only just the once. Of course, I don't expect our relationship to be mended with one conversation or act of bravery. But little by little, I think we're getting there.
I mean, at least he's getting there. It's hard. It's never easy, especially with kids. What about her? I like this one. She definitely has the Arahara aspect to her.
Zega Grande, the forgotten skydom. As I gazed into its perennial blue, I reflected on my last time here, during my travels with him. My memories of this place were distant, yet unforgettable.
Have you been here before, Rosetta?
Hmm? Perhaps I have. Who can say? Eventually, I'll share my tales of the captain's father and our journey together. When the time is ripe, of course. But first, I would need to sort through my own emotions. It was here in these skies that we would eventually part. I know. In the eyes of eternity, our time together lasted no longer than a blink. Yet his impact on me felt nothing short of eternal. Indeed, it wasn't nostalgia that I felt upon revisiting these skies. Rather, it was the significance of this place and all that transpired here that weighed heavily upon my heart.
What's this say? Priceless name. Okay.
During the war, primal beasts were exploited by the Astrals as instruments of battle. Withered and fated, one primal would eventually drift to Lumassier Archipelago, making a home for herself. Over time, she grew accustomed to the comforts of its forests and the serenity they offered. It was a far cry from the brutalities of war.
Okay.
Centuries would pass until a young man stumbled upon her domain, forever altering the course of her life.
Obviously talking about herself.
She engaged him in a vicious battle, but was ultimately humbled in defeat.
Oh!
Accepting her fate, she resigned herself to death. However, the man would sheath his blade and, to her surprise, asked if she would join him on a journey across the skies. A primal beast was supposedly no more than an astral weapon. Beings born to be controlled, manipulated, and ill-used since time immemorial. She had never entertained the idea of something more. In fact, she hardly had a name for herself. Well, she did have a moniker, but it was a meaningless one, whose sole purpose was to identify her as a weapon.
Oh,
Perhaps
that sucks.
Out of pity, perhaps out of kindness.
So she was like,
a new name.
Reminds me of a manga I'm reading called The Mercenary and the Witch. And the witch on these islands, like,
one she would
consider a weapon. And then she eventually gets with the mercenary and they go to this new place and she's living a new identity. So it kind of has that same vibe. You ever want to read a good manga? It's called The Mercenary and the Witch. I can't speak English. I could try.
With every union comes an inevitable separation. When his journey neared its final chapters, as he took up arms against the god of destruction, I returned to the forests of Lumassier. After my return to the archipelago, I briefly longed for his companionship, but the flora and fauna kept me company. Decades came and went, and one day I would encounter yet another young visitor to the island. There was no mistaking it. This was his offspring. I realized at that very moment the time had come. He had entrusted this child to me from the ends of the skies.
Oh!
My heart swelled, but I
that's what she reminds me a lot of Robin, like the mom of the group. Okay.
I would join the up-and-coming Skyfarers crew on the Grand Cipher for another journey across the skies, this time as a bystander. During their travels, they would
interesting. Now it makes sense why it's called Entrusted with the Future.
And hardship. I continued to observe from afar, doing my best to obscure my true intentions. My roots were well planted in the past. Knowing what I knew, would I be able to act as a part of their crew in earnest? Before long, my ambivalence would come to a head. My convictions had begun to waver, Was this the right approach? Of course, I was conscious of reality. I knew their journey wouldn't be easy. They would have to face the harsh life the skies had in store for them. And with our foes only becoming more and more cumbersome, even for myself, could I possibly protect them? My presence on the Grand Cipher was inconsequential, and at worst, a hindrance to the crew. I thought if I weren't here, the captain, EO, the entire crew would handle themselves just fine. Perhaps the time had come to retire to the forests once more. But as I was preparing to leave, EO grabbed my hand so sweetly, so innocently, and said she needed me to stay. I couldn't bring myself to abandon her. I would be the bystander no longer. Everyone in the crew had a role to play, and I would be the exception no more.
Okay.
Finally, I found my purpose. I was free to experience the skies once again, hand in hand with the captain. It wasn't duty or obligation that anchored me to this crew. It was love. And I promised to always protect them. I would leave no regrets in the skies. Thus, our journey continued. Only this time I felt that I was a true member of the Grand Cipher.
Okay, she was. Alright, now we get the DLC characters. It's kind of... Oh, whoa, I just realized they get slots. So they get more... Okay, that's what they get, slots in there. Okay. So when they get to episode 4. Okay. Let's see this.
What does it mean to be the strongest? We've all wrestled with our inadequacies at one point or another. I know I have. Doesn't matter how old you are or where you come from. Everyone wants to be the top dog. So, what exactly does it take to reach the peak of Mount Awesome? Power. Be it physical, economic, or political, is all about
This voice
using
actor
the right
sounds so
leverage.
familiar.
Like a high-stakes game of rock, paper, scissors. For instance, you can't always outflex a sharp wit with muscles alone. Your environment plays an important role in shaping your strengths too. A desert denizen shrugs off the heat, no sweat. A kid raised in the streets tends to be savvier than a child of privilege. As you can see, everyone thinks they know what strength is, but it isn't that cut and dry. Leave definitions to the dictionary. I prefer to follow my gut.
Okay.
What we need is a unified baseline predicated on common sense.
What is common
Something along
sense?
the lines of, being the strongest means never losing to anyone. Ever. And that's why the Eternals had to be created. So, we're a group of 10 who command the most powerful weapons in the skies. And I'm the big kahuna. That's right, the lovable Star Sword Sovereign. But you can just call me Sovon. Think of us as the bouncers of the Sky Realm. We roam the skies, staring down would-be troublemakers while wagging our fingers no. Look deep into your heart and ask yourself if you'd stoop to villainy under the watchful eyes of the world's strongest good guys. What? No, you wouldn't. Stop lying. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what happens when a stoppable force meets an immovable crew.
I'm trying to figure out, was that a fourth, like, wall break joke?
I mean, that's just flat out disrespectful. Look, we never claimed we were perfect. There are more than enough nations and leaders out there who view our autonomy as a threat to their interests. Our plans have backfired on us before, leading to unnecessary animosity and resentment. Mistakes have definitely been made. Yet despite all that, and this is just between me and you, okay? Recruiting the world's biggest badasses sounded way too fun to pass up. I knew getting the strongest people in the world to gel wouldn't be easy. It was hard enough convincing them to join the team, let alone work as one. You win some, you lose some. Now I know what you're dying to ask.
Yes.
Whenever people gossip about us, they always feel the need to bring it up. So, let's get this out of the way and put the subject to bed. There can only be one who wears the crown of strongest eternal. Only one whose bravery and deeds are second to none.
Yes.
Possessed of both unparalleled martial power and wisdom. And great hair to boot.
Oh, okay. I appreciate him mentioning my hair. Look at my hair, man. Look at this hair. I'm so glad he mentioned me. All right, looks like we can only do the pre-log. Oh, actually, no. She can go 2. He only gets this because we gotta go through it. Okay. So 2 for her. Does that count as? Yeah, that counts as 2.
The twang of a bowstring. The cessation of a once beating heart. I knelt down quietly beside my prey. And
like a
confirmed
fish
the
out water.
absence of a pulse. There's no escaping the cold, ironclad law of this world. That the strong devour the weak to survive. Growing up in a backwater hunting village, the adults ingrained this irrefutable rule into our brains from the moment we could crawl. Memories of my childhood raced into my head as I wrestled the arrow from flesh and sinew.
Oh.
Back then, my friend and I would often trek into the perilous wilderness to compete for the largest catch. Although no records of our matches were ever kept, I can assure you that I never lost once.
Damn.
I had the sharpest eyes in the entire village, bar none. When I stood atop a mountain summit, not a single beast escaped my gaze. Yep, I sure was proud of my eyesight when I was a kid.
Saw those
Everyone in the
carrots she
village
was eating.
showered me with praise. They all agreed I was a natural-born hunter, a generational talent even. Now, I'm not going to lie. I might have let it go to my head a little. Before I realized it, my bonds with the villagers began to fray. My world, the village, felt suffocating.
Oh, she wanted to see the outside world.
I took to hunting on my own as a means of improving my survival skills, to learn to be self-sufficient. Before long, I left the village behind. As someone who could pinpoint a pin in a sea of silver, the ends of the skies remained opaque to me. Oh, how I desired to know what lay beyond the shroud. I wanted to be able to see halfway around the world from where I stood. Was that so weird? Striding into my first real city was a moment unlike any other. Where did all the people come from? While my mouth feasted on savory delights, my eyes took in the vivid sights. Like a pup opening her eyes for the first time, I was flooded with wonder. What a mess of nerves and excitement I must have been. For the better part of a week, I worked tirelessly to blend in with the crowd. Couldn't let anyone find out I was a country bumpkin. The transition was seamless. I even established quite a few friendships. Life in the city was a delight, until reality finally caught up to me. One day, a colossal beast broke past the city gates. In an instant, I fired my bow with the goal of taking one life to save many. With nary a twitch, the interloper went down in a silent heap, my arrow protruding from the center of its brow. It was so quiet I thought time had stopped. None dared breathe, let alone speak. Suddenly, the entire square erupted with cheers and applause. For the first time since my arrival, I wasn't simply another face in the crowd. Riding the high, I instinctively went about field dressing the kill, right in front of everyone. Can you blame
I'm pretty
me?
sure people
Its
didn't
make
like
and
that.
hide would have made such fabulous gifts for the city folk.
Oh, I was so naive back then. You can take the girl out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the girl. The warm reception I had won turned absolutely frosty. From the moment I made the first incision, I realized my faux pas, but it was already too late. Friends with whom I'd stayed up many a night swapping stories over food and drink instantly severed ties with me and began to gossip behind my
Damn,
back.
really? Damn, just for that?
Blink of an eye,
I would have just
lost
laughed.
everything.
It's
That
not
was
that
the
big of a
day I
deal.
received my first bitter taste of isolation.
Can't believe they were like, girl, can you believe she did that? I mean, like, really? Okay, let's see what happens here.
It's hard to identify exactly when the cynicism set in, when I started to view myself as a monster. Things are so much simpler when you're a kid. I was happy as the village's top archer, and that was that. Then I stepped outside my little bubble and was never the same again. From the new locales I visited to the strange beasts I shot down, every new experience filled me with ever-growing doubt. I questioned if there was anyone in the Sky Realm capable of matching my marksmanship. I was still proud of my hunting prowess, but the prospect of standing alone at the top left me feeling conflicted. When you're the best of the best with zero competition, who else can you relate to? The thought of total isolation terrified me the most. At times, my yearning for camaraderie bordered on the obsessive. It wasn't like I had to find a rival who was my equal in skill. I just wanted to meet someone who saw me for who I was. There had to be at least one person out there I could confide in, share my secrets with. Sadly, most folks I met on my travels took one look at my freak talents and refused to give me the time of day. Some were kind enough to at least pretend to like me. We'd spend time together, sharing pleasantries and laughs. I nearly fell into the trap of believing I was normal, until the fear hiding in their eyes betrayed the truth. These people stared back at me like cornered animals fearing a predator who was merely playing with her food. I began to blame myself, and grew too afraid to even give them a passing hello. Then, I finally met someone who genuinely understood what I was going through. Her name was Silva.
Okay,
She
a
was
new
a
friend.
master sniper in her own right, and didn't give two hoots that I wasn't normal. We did everything as best friends. Eating out,
Oh, that's
shopping,
nice.
the works. Whew, the bags of rupees I must have spent. No, I'd been burned before, but this time things were going to be different.
Oh, something fucked up.
When will I learn not to get my hopes up? You see, Silva was hired for this routine bodyguard gig. Nothing fancy. But it all fell apart when suddenly her VIP came under attack from a horde of monsters.
She didn't make
I
it.
saw the ambush unfold from leagues away, and without a second thought drew back my bowstring again and again. As the last of the brutes fell from my arrows, Silva stood trembling amid the carnage, her mouth agape. "She's a monster," my supposed friend uttered. Of course, I couldn't hear her words over such a vast distance, but I read it on her lips.
Really? She saved your life and you going with that? Oh, that's a
I've been
terrible
called that
thing.
countless times by countless people. The words should have held no power over me, but this time it had hit differently, coming from someone I considered to be my first best friend. From that day on, we pretty much drifted apart. But I guess fate had other plans for us. When I joined the captain on their travels, I was shocked to learn that the woman I'd been trying so hard to avoid was also part of the crew. Silva and I finally sat down and had a heart-to-heart to clear the air. And wouldn't you know it, both of us were guilty of misjudging the other, and of acting like babies. Silva apologized for what she had said on that fateful day, even though it was totally my fault for jumping to conclusions. Hearing my first real friend speak from the heart brought me to tears. I think it was at that point when I realized I wasn't alone anymore.
Oh, okay.
There was someone else standing right beside me. Someone I could rely on through thick and thin. The monster who had been sentenced to a life of isolation was at long last free of her prison.
Good. Okay. Oh, damn. Oh, I guess the thing with the title can tell you. Okay. Let's go with uncertainty. These are the last two.
There's something about the pure blue sky that pierces the soul. Whenever I glimpsed its light, I felt my spirits lifted upward into the resplendent glow. But when I tried to reach out and capture its brilliance, I would find myself empty-handed. I knew I was a fool for believing I could touch it, but I would give anything to be in its presence, bathed in its warmth, just once more. How I detested that radiance, a light I shunned, rejected, and despised, and above all, yearned for. Is it irrational to both loathe and cherish something? My emotions had been in disarray, driving me towards madness. But to understand what led to that incongruity, I need to start from the beginning. Fate was set in motion roughly 2,000 years ago, when the astral Lucilius created assistants to aid his research into Sky Dweller evolution. They were the original primal beasts, though they went by a different name. Archangels. Given that we primals are immortal, the role which we are bestowed becomes our sole purpose for existing. Yet, when I was created, Supreme Primarch Lucifer saw fit to grant me nothing. I was essentially a blank slate, little more than the hollow husk of a primal.
Oh.
With unwavering determination, I stalked the garden of the Astral Research Lab, waiting for my chance to question Lucifer.
Of course, Lucifer.
What was my purpose in life? Only he had the answer I desperately sought.
Lucifer?
With each passing moment, the whirling tempest of inferiority and doubt within my mind grew fiercer. As my disillusionment deepened, I came to view the Supreme Primarch as my only salvation. His wisdom, his skill, and even his poise. Everything about him was sublime. It was only fitting that he was beloved by all. I was convinced there was no other being as perfect as him. Indeed, he was the light that illuminated the world. And thus, I endeavored to prove that I could be of use to him. The only way I could pull my weight was to secure a role for myself. It became an obsession. I was but a tender hatchling, pestering its parent for nourishment. If only I had been more careful of what I wished for. One day, I finally learned the truth of my purpose, and it destroyed me. I wouldn't go so far to say I was eavesdropping, more like I happened to be within earshot of a conversation between Lucilius and Lucifer. From this innocuous meeting, my entire world changed forever.
Forever.
Spare. I was Lucifer's spare. A temporary stand-in for the Supreme Primarch, should circumstances go awry. However, when you're the definition of perfection like Lucifer, a spare becomes redundant. Not only was I born a backup, I was a useless one. My dreams were built on hope, respect, and admiration. Yet, it wasn't until everything came crashing down that I realized how flimsy that foundation had been. In one brief flash, I came to hate the light.
Ooh.
Much time passed after that shocking revelation, though little of note occurred. Later, however, a faction of the Archangels rose up in rebellion against the Astrals. They were the fallen angels, primals who believed themselves to be at the top of the food chain.
Okay.
Radicals who snapped at the hands of their creators.
Interesting.
Their mission was to shake up the hierarchy.
Okay, so they were
Lost
planning a
and
rebellion.
brayed from being tossed aside like a broken doll, I joined the rebellion without hesitation.
Of course you did.
It was my chance to claim revenge on Lucifer and Lucilius. No, just Lucifer. But the revolt was quashed, and I, along with the fallen angels, was imprisoned in Pandemonium. I languished.
Oh, that's
in a
interesting.
closet
This is
cage for
a
2
reverse
millennia.
tale. So instead of Lucifer normally in like Catholic being the one that cast
As
out,
chance would have it,
he
when
gets
Vern and
cast
Lyria
out
came in
instead.
contact with each other for the first time.
Okay.
A deafening roar reverberated across the skies, signaling the opportunity for me to escape. Luck was on my side. But when I emerged back into the open skies, Lucifer was nowhere to be found. I wanted to be berated. I yearned to be scolded. But above all else, I needed acknowledgement. And I wouldn't rest until I got what I deserved. If I needed to light the world ablaze just to smoke him out, so be it.
Would he do
destroyed
that?
The equilibrium between the tetra elements, fire, water, earth, and wind. Deprived of that delicate balance, the islands would lose buoyancy and crash into the crimson horizon below. My lips twisted into a grin as I watched the Primarchs scramble to put out my fires. Wiping out the world wasn't even that hard. I had barely broken a sweat. I shed no tears for the ruin of the skies. My focus was exhausted, suffocated by the stranglehold Lucifer kept on my heart. Darkness had conquered my judgment to the point where not even his light could mollify me. But that was what I wanted. What possessed me to commit such atrocities? Why did I lash out with such rancor? I asked rhetorically. I already knew the answers. I didn't care if I became a villain. All I cared about was proving my existence. Nothing was going to stop me.
Nothing at all.
I was going to force his hand.
Okay. Then we get one more. Sin.
I chose to believe there was a method to my madness. To be punished for my crimes would validate my birth. Leaving behind a wake of destruction was my way of crying out for attention. No matter how foolish an act it was, nothing could have stopped me. There was only one way to soothe my tortured soul. All I needed was for one person to admit that I mattered. To tell me I belonged in this world. In the end, it was the captain and crew who thwarted my realm-raising intentions. My plan to sow havoc and turmoil in the skies by releasing the fallen angels from Pandemonium never stood a chance. Perhaps I should have seen my failure coming. Nothing got past Lucifer. His stringent vigil over Pandemonium prevented the sky's impending doom. He appeared before me in my time of defeat. Every pent-up emotion inside of me, excess baggage accumulated over the past 2,000 years, erupted all at once. Grief from feeling worthless, misery from being ignored, despair from everlasting rejection. Everything that had transpired was his fault. Hate me, destroy me, punish me, I begged. But Lucifer did not see fit to play my game.
No.
Instead, he accepted full responsibility for my crimes.
Really?
No, it wasn't supposed to end that way. I wasn't interested in clemency. I sought to beget calamity in order to be struck down by the Supreme Primarch's own hand. Were he to forgive my transgressions, my hatred for the light over these past centuries would have been for naught. To my dismay, the punishment I desired never came. Lucifer sealed me within the gentle warmth of his core, where I succumbed to a deep sleep. I found myself in a place where time ceased to flow. It was the perfect cloister, where I had nothing but my thoughts to keep me company. Then one day, Lyria came to see me. She fought to make me see reason, drawing examples from her own life experiences. The girl spoke of grappling with personal inadequacies. She hadn't known what her purpose in life was, or even who she was. But despite those hurdles, she eventually found a place to call home. Likewise, she believed it wasn't too late for me to discover my true self. Could Lucifer and I actually come to understand one another someday? It was a tempting thought. One that caused cracks to form in my rigid facade. Perhaps I had misunderstood Lucifer all along. The stronger the light, the darker the shadow. When one is faced with such dazzling brightness, the only escape is to look away. Could it be that I was being bathed in his light all this time? The walls of my confines melted away, and I was transported to a shrine in Canaan. I could feel Lucifer's presence close by. Faint though it was, I followed his aura until I finally found him. Or at least, what was left of him. His head lay on the ground, devoid of a vessel to bear it. Despite the loss of his senses, he seemed to comprehend that someone was present.
Please. I have a message for the ears of one named Sandalphon. I leave my power and the position of Supreme Primarch to him.
Even in his dismembered state, his mind lingered on the Sky Realm. It's no wonder he irritated me so. He always did as he pleased. Consequences to others be damned.
Of course, that'll be Lucifer.
All you ever talk about
Lucifer
is
has to get one on.
I went off on a tirade, though I don't know how much of it got through to him, given his state. His last words took a turn toward the philosophical.
What makes the sky blue? For thousands of years, people have wondered. And even once they grasped the science, they continued to ask. It struck me. Perhaps a question is really just a wish. Wondering why, how, what to do. That eternal questioning, wishing, seems to be where evolution leads.
Really? I mean, that is true.
Breath, he spoke not as the Supreme Primarch, but as himself.
If I could be granted one last wish, I'd like to share.
Oh, is that why his favorite thing is coffee?
Coffee with you. In that shaded garden.
My chest ached, and the yearning for the light returned. His already dim glow continued to fade. I felt his power, along with his wishes, being passed on to me. All I could do was stand there in a stupor.
No, he is his creation.
And gazed at the
he is the original.
He loved so much.
He went from the clone to the original.
His calming light would forever shine across the skies, illuminating the path forward. An undying beacon to guide those who lost their way.
Alright, so that's all the fates I can do at this moment in time. Oh, never mind. I lied. There was one more. Aha! Tricked you. Damn, there's a lot. And this one's called Emotion.
Disaster never seems to sleep. Not long after I had inherited Lucifer's power, another crisis threatened the world. This time it was Lucilius who took offense to the gods, unleashing chaos to spit in their faces. His plan, or grand finale in his words, was to crash Pandemonium into the Crimson Horizon, thereby destroying the dimensional barrier. To make matters worse, the Astral had the gall to attach his head to Lucifer's stolen body.
Oh!
It fueled him with immense power in the form of 12 pitch-black wings on his back. It was my duty to uphold the Supreme Primarch's legacy and protect the realm. I teamed up with the captain and crew to stop Lucilius dead in his tracks. I'd finally found friends
I joined
protect.
them.
The fate of an entire world rested on my shoulders. This mission was personal. It wasn't so much about keeping promises or seeking atonement, nor was it to fulfill my duty as the Supreme Primarch. I simply wished to safeguard those I held dear. By some miracle, I had become the light that could banish evil. Lyria kept a white plume with her, perhaps as a good luck charm, without knowing what it truly represented. The plume resonated with me, and from my back grew 12 great wings. 2 were my own, followed by 6 bestowed by the Supreme Primarch. The other Primarchs contributed the final 4, 1 from each respective owner. With the weight of everyone's faith borne upon my wings, we defeated Lucilius, the Sky Realm's greatest threat, once and for all. A saga spanning 2 millennia had at last come to an end. It wasn't until some days later, as I stood on the deck of the soaring Grand Cipher, that I would have the chance to reflect on the immediate aftermath of our duel with Lucilius. After the Astral's downfall, a dimensional rift opened and began pulling Lyria in. I remembered the wind roaring in my ears as I flew to rescue her. The next thing I knew, I awoke in a place without time. I seemed to have returned back to the garden at the research lab, or some sort of recreation of it at least. A figure walked up to me and reached out a hand. It was Lucifer. Was I dreaming? Was this merely an illusion? We sat in the serene garden, sipping coffee and waxing nostalgic about events that took place 20-odd centuries ago. I couldn't stop my thoughts from spilling out. There were so many things to apologize for, so much gratitude to be expressed. And that's not to mention the myriad questions I felt compelled to ask. I reiterated my commitment to act as the new Supreme Primarch. And before long, the moment of our parting had arrived. In the past, I always had to watch him leave. But now, it was his turn to see me off. I had to be strong, for his sake. It was time to bid farewell to the eternal light of my adoration. I put forth my best smile.
I feel like we have learned, how is it that there's more to this fate? Because again, I feel like we learned so much in these 2 episodes. How is there more? And there's a fight here, but like, how? How many more was there? I thought there was like, it feels like because of these 2 right here, maybe even everybody. I feel like there must have been multiple games that had an RPG element to this, and I've missed out on it, and I didn't realize that, and I'm so sorry. Okay, this is the only island I have. Okay, I'm going to save it here, and on the next time we will go forward and continue the story. Until then, adios.